Hello, Eternum, and welcome to KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news. And this is KOTT's ongoing coverage of the inaugural New World PvP League. All three defenses dig deep and disrupt the leaderboards last night in PvP Paradise. KOTT News were on the scene all night and got reactions from the locker rooms, starting in Brightwood. Congratulations on your victory here in Brightwood. You were finally able to get some real points on the board tonight. Would you care to take us through how it went down for you?
So on the outside, we just focused on trying to disrupt their healers as much as possible, committing our mediums to the point and trying to make plays where we could. It really came down to just players making big plays, not necessarily where they're assigned to, but where they see the most pressure. Armies do better when they're not necessarily micromanaged, where they can kind of just flow in what their orders is and kind of push in to make just big plays, like I said earlier. That's the big thing, just players making big plays. Fort kind of consisted on just flexing around well. We won crucial gates, I don't want to say which, but we won just a couple crucial gates during the fight. We're able to free up some people to make big rotates and kind of match their rotates. One big thing was definitely communication. We just got to feed Ashy. Ashy is, like, in my opinion, one of the best shot callers in the game. We just got to try to feed him more information as an army so he can make informed decisions.
Could you explain to me how it looked like you had a soft touch around the point as they walked in? It seemed like you were kind of giving up space until they were cut off, and then you were able to dive back onto the point.
Exactly. You loosen the choke. Let them in a little bit, they constrict. Let them in, constrict. Right? Think about it from a war perspective. What are the people that are rushing in first? Most likely, it's going to be your melees, right? If your melees get on point, but you slam their healers in support, what are the melees going to do inside if they have no healer and no support? They're going to look like they're living, maybe spin a little bit, and then they're going to get wiped. So if we work from the outside in, we can constrict on them and kind of just wipe them out piecemeal.
Well, you did it exactly like that. And as I said, you were able to get a hold in there and get some real points on the board. Now that's left is for you to go out there and get a victory under your belt. Or are you looking forward to your attack opportunity this weekend?
I mean, we'll get the job done. We'll get the job done some way, somehow. You know what it is? Like I said, we have one of the best shot callers in the game. I'm sure he'll come up with something. We've attacked Morningdale plenty of times.
Later in Monarch's Bluff, KOTT News spoke with a victorious GOAT about their impenetrable 1-4-2 zone. Congratulations on your victory. Once again, able to keep them outside of the fort for another 1-4 scoring. How do you feel?
Well, John, I feel great. I feel like our boys are working perfect. Apparently that was Audacity's best roster. And definitely showed out there.
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice, really, once you guys got over to the Charlie fight, there was really only one big push, maybe at about the 12-minute mark, where they were able to get some road control on you, some oppo bond control, some decent bond control, but you had their road. What was the thinking going on there?
You know, our lights just are just crazy. Got the best lights on the server, best lights in the game, so taking oppo back. You know, we're not afraid to take space. You know, G-shoes and do, that means press W in Chinese, and that's what we did today, baby.
Far and ahead, leading the way here on the Group 1 stages. How are you feeling about maybe taking the day off this weekend now that you're almost guaranteed to be the #1 seed?
There's no days off in GZG over here. It's straight go, never stop. And we're coming for, you know, coming for GAM tomorrow.
All right, that will be a big fight. I'm looking forward to that. That should be the fight of the weekend, if I'm being honest. Was there anybody out there tonight that really stood out that you might want to give a shout-out to?
Myself. I'm the greatest to ever do a job. No one holds right click like me. That's it.
I know you got some VODs to go take a look at, and once again, congratulations on your victory, unless there's anything you might want to say to the citizens of Eternum.
I'd like to say one thing to Kenneth from Espada. I'm coming for you. What you did to me in that one war wasn't cool. You're a winning side player, and you're going to crumble under my foot when I'm in the ring with you, buddy.
The night winds down with ex-Mexico making a strong hold to claim 3 more points. KOTT caught up with the commissioner captain to discuss the outcome. The first push happens at about 16 minutes. A breach through Bravo. They start to take hill, they start to take the A side ramp, they start to take the C side dirt and push you all the way to 67% where you get your first respawn. You start pushing them back down to 33% and you start to win those fights. Your D gate goes up, your E gate goes up, 13-minute mark still ongoing. They're at 33%, they climb back up to 50%, a long fight. Somebody over the B gate drops in, a group from B gate drops in. Who are they? What did they do? I think they got the win. Do you concur?
Yeah, man, that entire phase was like anxiety in a basket. It was really difficult to like control and command everybody and just keep the situation controlled is like what you got to do. And I don't know exactly who jumped off. I will say that I think Custom and Shivy and that group on ice, Vampy, Rink, I think they kind of took it into their own hands where they needed to play. I saw them often outside of B-Gate. I saw them jump. I saw Shivy cleaning up dirt at times. So I feel like they just played where they needed and felt like they needed to play. So if there was anybody that was jumping down, it could have been them. It could have also been the medium engages and like Yagu and Overdo and Messi and Freemy. We had 4 of those guys in there. So it could have been definitely like a couple different parties. I didn't catch a name, but they did a really good job recognizing that was what they had to do. And really, I felt like it was like an 8 to 10 minute stretch where they just had like full control of everything. And like, it was like a stalemate inside the fort where they would get wipes. We would respawn. We'd get wipes. They would respawn. They would get wipes. And it was just this back and forth tussle until we finally got that finishing wipe to push them out. So it was a wild period of time. That's for sure, John.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great camera moment for me to watch it happening. And then I would say their next attempt, maybe about the 9-minute mark, you decide not. You're going to go out and you're going to counter push. You stop them before they even start. Would you care to tell us a couple of sixths about that?
Yeah, that's really like, I'm pretty sure that was the moment Clay Trinity was making that call. I believe in the gate anchors. We have Taka set up on C gate with Oru. We have Owler set up on A gate with NGH. And we have B gate, we have like River and Grant Lamau and Merc and Clay's like kind of calling for that group. So really, I trust my gate anchors. I think they all have like a really good game sense. They're all as experienced as it gets at the top level, and they know when they need to push out and when they need to kind of play lives a little bit. And, it seemed like B gate had some good wipes and they had an opportunity to push out. Now, while C gate was coming in, that was the scary part, that they were pushing out while we were kind of losing one of the sides of the fort. But, Oru and Taku, they kind of bit down, figured it out to live. B-Gate got big wipes outside of B-Gate, came back in, and we just kind of cleaned up. When you have that advantage on a gate, you kind of got to take advantage of it. And I think that's what we saw with Clay Trinity in that group.
I would say somebody else also commented on this earlier in the night, so it's probably fresh in your mind. Your outer fort fight looking a little bit better this week. Care to take us through some of the practice and improvements you've made?
Yeah, of course. So it's all about developing your strategy depending on what the defense is, or the offense, or your opponent in general, what they're throwing at you. So, all last night, all the night before, we spent watching what do the criminals do. We were looking at Idorian's VOD. We were looking at some of their kill players, the people that are consistently slotted, trying to find their twitches, and just seeing what they do. And it seems like they ran a very similar style from their previous wars as well. So just looking and watching the VODs and just kind of using your eyes and brains. That's all it comes down to, watching what they do and then creating a strat to counter it. I can tell you the strat that we had tonight was different than the strat we had against Scam. And that was different than the strat we had against Cookout. So every war that we've won so far in this league, 3 of them now, we've completely changed the strat up outside of the fort. Inside, it's pretty much the same stuff. You might tinker with a group or two and change their direction a little bit, but outside, we blow it up and start from scratch each war. So there's really no rhyme or reason other than watching their VOD. What do they do and countering it?
You're doing an excellent job of learning and countering, that's for sure. Well, before I let you get going to your OPRs, I see you've already stopped yourself from doing so by committing to your civic responsibilities and pushing bars. Care to remind the other participants in the New World League PvP Paradise what the responsibilities are during the nights that they're not in wars or are finished?
Yes, the civic responsibilities, absolutely. Luckily, I think this is the last push on the docket. I think once we get through these, we're cleared through the weekend, so that's good. Pushing sucks. We all hate it. I get it, guys. But if we could just lock in and get it done together really quickly, the rest of the event runs smooth. So I do appreciate, and a special shout out to guys like yourself, John, and all the free agents out there that are here and enjoying the OPRs and just kind of the server in general. Shout out to you guys that actually run laps and run missions for the factions you join. We really appreciate it. And without you guys, it would just be that much more miserable. So shout out all the free agents out there putting in the work with us, and go push, get it done,
3 more lineups are submitted for Simulated Fantasy Combat Resolution tonight, brought to you by LARPco. Remember, if it isn't LARPco, it's cardboard. First up, the Goats of Guangzhou assail the syndicate members of Grav Automail for control of the eastern archipelago of the Restless Shore. Well in front of the pack, the Guangzhou Goats take their team east to secure a handful of points to lock up the #1 seed going into the playoffs. Grav Automail, with an opportunity to play spoiler, could get some big points for themselves while giving other top contenders hope to catch up. Then, the Marauders of Joe Team 6 challenge the champs of Espada for their multiverse title and the right to rule over Everfall. In the green corner, wearing green trunks with black trim, hailing from the resort destination of Ebonscale, Joe Team 6. In the yellow corner, wearing yellow trunks with black trim, your current reigning multiverse champions of Eternum, Espada. In the nightcap, the syndicate members of Cookout attack the Marauders of Audacity for control of the rain-drenched mountain region of Morningdale. Cookout turn around from their defense last night and march north to face off against their rival for the Cardboard Cup, needing 2 objectives to prevent falling into 9th place. Audacity holds their destiny in their own hands, difficult though it may be. If they hold on to 2 outside, they can claw away the 8th seed from their competitive rival tonight. We'll have any late-breaking outcomes and reactions from the citizens tonight at 11. Until then, this has been War Correspondent JChalant, KOTT News.